You've been listening to the Voices of Faith Transforming the Community with the Saginaw African American Pastors on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on this show by the host, its guests, or call ins do not necessarily represent the opinion of this station, the staff, its owners, Connoisseur Media, or its advertisers.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Voices of Faith Transforming the Community. This is a weekly program that's offered to you through the facilities of this station, WTLZ, KISS 107, and Continental Broadcasting, and the Saginaw African American Pastors Group, which is a dedicated group of Christian faith leaders who are committed to addressing racial, social, and economic justice at all levels in the community. We do this on a regular basis, consistently, with faith, strength, and boldness in order to ensure that racial equity is the experience of all citizens in Saginaw County and the Saginaw region. And we do it in more than just this program, but our churches are involved in community activities and outreach activities. We engage, we advocate, we collaborate. We talk with community leaders at all levels and decision makers because we're involved in everything from business to economics and political community activity. We also advocate for issues that make a difference with the people that we serve, and then we try our best to collaborate with organizations that have similar goals and issues. My name is Hurley Coleman. I'm the service as the pastor at World Outreach Campus Church of God in Christ of Greater Coleman Temple Ministries here in Saginaw, and I'm serving presently as the chair of Saginaw African American Pastors. This group of various pastors and leaders, well, from time to time you'll see a different person hosting because we're all serving together to try to make a difference in the community and to raise up the issues of changing the community one person at a time, one issue at a time. The voices of faith, we want to transform our community and make things better. I'm here today in the studio with one of Saginaw's great voices. In a few moments, you're going to hear this voice that gospel music listeners hear every Sunday and carry with them from Sunday to Sunday. We hear it after the programs go off. The voice of none other than our own gospel lady, Vicki Hill. She's a Stellar Award winner. She's a national communicator. She's part of a national organization of gospel announcers. She is a singer. She's a recording artist. She's more than we can describe in just a few moments. And I just want you to join me in welcoming Saginaw's own to the microphone in a place other than where she usually is. Usually she's hosted, but today she's our guest. Gospel lady, Vicki Hill. What do you say, Vicki Hill?
Well, hello, Bishop. How are you?
I'm well.
This is kind of different for me to be sitting on this side of the microphone.
I just wonder how
Yeah.
that feels to you being on the other side of the microphone in a situation like this, being interviewed.
It's a little weird because normally, I'm the person doing the interviewing. So it's a lot different. I say I'm a little nervous? Yeah.
You could say
I
that. Nobody's going to believe it.
But I am a little bit nervous, but it's okay. It's okay.
Well, you've been doing this work in radio and in announcing. You're one of the most prolific mistresses and masters of ceremony for all of our community, not only gospel programs, but just community programs. You're visible not only in Saginaw, but throughout the state of Michigan. And now, even in the country, you're being invited all over the country as a part of the gospel network of Gospel Announcers Network, Gospel Music Network. What does it feel like to be doing what you're doing now? And how did it get started?
Well, I've been in radio now for 33 years. Can you believe that?
No.
33 years. And I often think about it because, I try to always keep myself humble, which I never get the big head. That's just not a part of me. But I often say, it started from my mom's living room, laying on the floor, listening to gospel music. And it was Chris Banks on the air at that time. And I just loved his voice. Yeah. And I would just lay there for hours. At that time, gospel music went to like 6 in the evening. It
Yeah.
was pretty much almost all
All day.
day.
Yep.
And I absolutely loved it. And that's where kind of got started with me for music. A little bit earlier than that, my mom sung in choirs. And then when I was really young, she stuck me up in a choir and
Mm.
they put me up front and I had to sing. And
There you go.
oh my God, I was nervous. But she would have a group and the group would come in our house every week and they would rehearse.
What was the name of the group?
Oh my God, I don't even remember the name of it, but one of the songs they sung was Sweeping Through That City.
Yeah.
That was, and that,
Caravan.
oh my
Shirley
God,
Caesar.
that was one of my favorite
It
songs.
wasn't the Wings of Harmony, was it?
No, it
No.
wasn't. And we lived in Benton Harbor,
Oh, you
Michigan.
didn't Ben Harper.
We were in Benton Harbor, Michigan at the time. And so I grew up listening to gospel music, my mom singing and her sticking me in front of people that, made me really nervous. But I did what they told me to do, of course. And then listening to Chris Banks on the air. But you know what, Bishop? Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would be on radio because that was never my desire. I just wanted to hear the music.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to hear the music and sing to the songs, but never thought about being on radio. Never.
You grew up like I did in the church family in the house family. My father was a quartet singer and preacher, and we always had music going. I started singing at an early age too. So, and I never imagined that it would turn out to be in other
Yeah.
places that would be. And I never imagined myself to be like a star or a big time artist, but I always wanted to be, man.
Yeah.
I really wanted to be. I never thought I was going to be in church like that. When I was coming up, I thought I was just going to be my stepping stone. I was going to get out. But I remember listening. It was Leonard Porterfield, then it was Chris Banks.
Oh, yeah.
And the music. It went all day. And gospel
Absolutely.
music really was an anchor for us for Sunday to get going through the week.
Absolutely, it was. It definitely was that anchor. It was when people were going through something and they listened to gospel music, something about that music, something about how it touched your soul when you listened to it, something about it relating to maybe the problems and helping you get through those problems. That's what gospel music did.
How do you think gospel music has changed over the years?
Oh, it has changed. Like I said, gospel music, it still has that healing power. It still has that magical those magical words that you need to hear when you're going through something. But nowadays, gospel music, sometimes you have to really, really listen to gospel music nowadays. But sometimes some of the artists has changed.
Yeah.
They've changed their style. They've changed the way they deliver the word of the Lord, if you will, through song. Sometimes you don't even hear the word about the Lord in the song. So you have to really listen.
It's become very commercial.
You have to really listen. And sometimes I think, well, is this a gospel song?
But the industry impacted that. The industry and the marketplace, it impacted that in radio. And where at one time, you could hear gospel music throughout the week. In some places have gospel radio stations that are 24 hours, but Saginaw never had a 24-hour gospel station. We would listen to, my father showed us this station that came out of Nashville, WLAC. Late at night, we can listen to gospel music from down south. Now, you have a flavor with your show, with your program, where you cover a lot of different genres.
I do.
Of gospel music.
I do.
But can you talk a little bit about the diversity of genres in gospel music?
So when it comes to my show, and I realize that I do things a little bit different than maybe other radio announcers who are doing gospel music. And I make no apology for it because it is what I do. And I always tell people it's what the Lord has given me. You have to do what the Lord has given you. So I try to make sure I am including and covering different genres of music. So like when I get here in the morning, I started out with Good Morning Jesus, right? I'm already saying good morning to you, but we need to say good morning Jesus as well. He woke us up. He gave us that breath of life, right? I always say that he decided he would just blow on me and let me get up out of that bed. If he had not, I wouldn't be here, right? So then I go from there and I touch on quartet music. Quartet music is big.
It
It
is.
is huge. It is huge. And I realize that we have a lot of quartet um, people that listen to quartet in the city of Saginaw
And
and
quartet, oh
around.
man,
It
quartet is
it's
staple in second.
huge. It
Yeah,
really is. And even when you go other places, if you go to a quartet concert, it's pretty much sold out
every
because
time.
yes, people love quartet music. It's different than our regular traditional and contemporary music. You know, but I love quartet music. There was a time I didn't, but I do. I love quartet
While we
music.
at that point, can you help me with this? Because I
What?
saw something on a clip, and I don't know if it was on Facebook or wherever it was,
Yeah.
but it was a guy singing "Push It Out," and it was quartet song, sound quartet, but they were doing line dance to it.
That's why I said it has changed. Music has changed. Sometimes you really have to dig deep to see if it really is gospel music. Yes, not only quartets have changed it a little bit, but you look at some of the other artists. You look at Charles Jenkins. Have you
Mm-hmm.
ever watched his videos? Have you ever watched Kirk Franklin's
Kurt
videos?
Franklin,
Have you ever watched some
Ty
of,
Tribbett,
oh my God, even Pastor Mike Jr.? Have
yeah,
you
Pastor
watched
Mike,
his video? He's good. They're good. I love their music, but watch their videos and you really have to
like
really
hip hop gospel,
absolutely. But you know what? And I think one reason that they're doing this is because they're trying to reach beyond the elder,
the
the
traditional.
middle class, the traditional people. They're trying to bring in the younger crowds. And let's face it, the younger crowds do things a whole lot different. They're still, well, you have to dig deep sometimes
Yeah.
and make sure that the Lord's words are in there so it is a Christian or gospel song. But I think that's the reason why they do it. That's my feeling
I
anyway.
think there's value. I think there's merit to that because I keep telling people all the time, because I'm a pastor. I've been This is my 25th year as pastor,
Well, congratulations.
and
Yeah.
and that's why I'm excited about today. We're going to talk about a little bit. This is the 25th year of Gospel Fest,
Yeah.
but in 25 years, the way I started out
Mm-hmm.
pastoring 25 years ago
Mm-hmm.
is not necessarily the same
Mm-mm.
way it
Not
is
the
now
same.
because the world has
The
changed.
world's changed.
And in the 60, I mean, in the 70, 60, this is the 69th year of our church.
Mm-hmm.
And so when my father started out 69 years ago, it's a lot different than
It
what it
is
was when
different.
he started. In gospel music, I remember when the first two first came out of Detroit, the first choir that did a national presentation and recording
Mm-hmm.
of a big nature was Southwest Michigan Church of God in Christ under Dr. Mattie Moss Clark.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the first gospel group that did a crossover song
Mm-hmm.
was when the Clark sisters sung "You Brought the Sunshine,"
Yeah.
and they really were getting a lot of flack because they were playing their song in the club.
Yes, yes, and they still. I think some of the, you're right, they were getting flack, but then some of the other artists started to also cross over, and then they would get flack too. But they were trying to touch a different audience and bring in a different audience. You sometimes you have to meet a person where they are. You can't draw them if you
Mm-hmm.
don't meet them where they are. I'm not saying to lose what you have, but we find ourselves, like you say, churches have changed, music has changed from what they did back in the day in churches. They don't always do that stuff
You
anymore.
just said something a little while ago. You said you've been doing radio for
33
33
years.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
What's different now from when you started doing radio?
When I first started doing radio, Bishop, I actually, okay, so when I got started, it was because of Dante Toussaint, right?
Mm-hmm.
All because of him calling me over to do something I had never done before, which was voice a commercial. I had no idea what I was doing. But because I read that commercial, and I don't know what he heard, because I don't hear what other people hear in my voice, but because of what he heard, he took it to Kermit. Kermit called me in, hired me on the spot, right? But when I got hired in, I wasn't doing just gospel. I was doing R&B. So I started out with R&B.
Really?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was your stage name then?
It was still Vicky. It
Oh.
was so I didn't really I hadn't formed like a stage name at that time. But I started out doing R&B and I would transition right over into gospel.
Mm.
So I was coming off R&B and right away I transitioned over into gospel
How
music.
about that?
Yeah, so back in the day we had like carts that you had to plug in for
Mhm.
the
Right.
music
Right.
or and CDs.
Right.
So we had a whole bunch behind me. I'll never forget that. And I was as nervous as I could be. Nobody else was in the studio. I couldn't see anybody. They couldn't see me, but I was shaking because it was something I had never done before.
How
And
about
they
that?
left me alone.
Mm.
Nobody was in the studio with me. So that's how I started out. And then I transitioned completely over into gospel music, which, 33 years of doing what I love to do. I love music, absolutely love music, and I always have. So I always tell people, God actually just kind of dropped that in my lap.
Mm.
It's not something I went after. It's not something I went to school for. He just kind of put that in my lap.
So you've been doing gospel, you've been doing music, radio for 33 years,
Yeah.
gospel music for a lot of years,
Yes. Yes.
and now Gospel Fest in its 25th year.
In its 25th year. Can you believe that? 25 years. It's hard to believe. So, Gospel Fest was actually started by Lorenzo Pearson.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one who started it. But because he had some changes going on in his life, he was letting that go. And I don't know, did I hear the Lord? Because
25 years later, you must have heard it.
did I hear the Lord in my ears saying, Vicky, pick this up? So I picked it up and I did not let it fall. I just continued right then and there and I kept it going. So 25 years later, here I am.
Mm.
Here I am with Gospel Fest. It's been a great ride. It
A lot
really
of great
has.
artists have come through
Absolutely.
Saginaw, through Gospel Fest. That island. You how many years have you been at Ojibwe Island?
I've been at Ojibwe Island the whole time.
The
The
whole
only
time
time I have not been in Ojibwe Island was last year, and
when
that
they were
was
under
only
construction.
because they were under construction and we had to go to Morley.
Yeah.
That every year I've been at Ojibwe Island.
Mm.
Yeah. 25 years is a long time, and a lot of great artists have come through. These are artists that you would normally have to pay
Yeah.
to go and see.
Yeah.
You can't just pop up and go see these people for free.
Right.
It would be nice if you could, but
No.
yeah.
No. I know about the marketplace for artists and things, but you have brought top artists in gospel music throughout the entire time, and the city of Saginaw has
Yeah.
benefited from being able to go to Ireland
Absolutely.
without paying a fee.
Without paying a fee, nothing. Come out there free. Absolutely. And as you say, the top artists that have come out, yeah. And the way I pick these artists on Sundays, when I'm sitting there on Sundays and I'm giving everybody what I'm giving them as far as gospel music, I'm hearing in my head, this is the person you need. And I know this sounds a little weird, but I always tell people I don't have a playlist on Sunday. I don't have one.
That don't make sense because I listen to your program. It's always so sequential and so
Yeah.
it's always on its way somewhere. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's just ministry. You
No.
you don't organize.
No, I do not.
It's
I do
amazing.
not have a playlist. I walk in the door. I might think, okay, I'll put this song in, but God has already changed that song and given me something else in the way that I do it. And for 33 years, it has worked. For 33 years, I have relied on what the Lord has given me to do.
I
And
can't
that's
imagine how
exactly
many
what I
people.
do.
I can't imagine how many people have commented to you about moments in your program that really ministered to them.
Oh my God. It is absolutely amazing to me. As I said, I don't get the big head, but I run into people not just in the city of Saginaw, but I run into people all over the place who will come up to me and tell them, "You've changed my life," or "I heard something you said and I was about to commit suicide." Can you imagine hearing
Wow, that's
that?
heavy. That's heavy.
It's really heavy. And I just thank God for it.
So
I really
people
do.
need to know that not only is this something that you enjoy doing, but you feel it's a calling, it's a ministry, and
It
you
is.
really feel like God is using you
Yes,
on the
absolutely.
radio station on every
Absolutely.
Sunday and whenever throughout the week.
Absolutely. Every single Sunday.
We've been talking here for the first segment of transforming lives in this community through faith with Saginaw African American pastors, and I'm Bishop Hurley Coleman, and this is the one and only gospel lady, Vicky Hill, and we're talking about not only what she does on a regular basis, and you might know that she's involved in a lot of other things in the community, but here particularly we're talking about the gospel music industry, gospel
Mhm.
music radio, and Gospel Fest in its 25th year. We're going to
25.
be taking a break and coming back, but just as a teaser, can you, as we go towards the break, can you just tell them what to expect in our conversation in the second half so they won't leave and come back?
You don't want to leave. The second half, we're going to talk about who's coming in to Saginaw for the 25th anniversary of Gospel Fest. So stay right there.
You
We'll
got
be
to be
back.
here. Don't miss this. Gospel lady Vicky Hill, Saginaw African American pastors. Welcome. I mean, we're welcoming her today on the other side of the microphone.
The other
Please
side.
take a break with us. We'll be back in just a few moments. Thanks, Matt, for being such a great engineer. Take us out, and we're going back at the end of this break. Welcome back to Transforming the Community, Voices of Faith, Transforming the Community with Saginaw African American Pastors. As happy to say, I am me. I'm still me. Bishop Hurley Coleman from World Outreach Campus Church of God in Christ of Greater Coleman Temple Ministries, and I'm serving with the Saginaw African American Pastors every week through the facilities of this station. We're able to join in conversation and talk about things that are relative to our community, issues that mean something. We want to advocate, we want to engage, and we want to collaborate to bring about justice, to enhance the quality of lives of all those who we serve. Our organization, Saginaw African American Pastors, is a group of pastors who pastor predominantly African American constituencies, but we're serving the whole community, and our congregations are diverse, but our predominant audience is African American communities, and we're all African American leaders. So we proudly stand in that and encourage you to be active and participating in all the things we do. We are excited today because we have with us the voice that many of you hear every week, but it's rarely on the interviewee side of the microphone. Our own gospel lady, Miss Vicky Hill, who is internationally known and is one of the recognized voices in gospel music and the gospel music industry. And this time we're talking about this great event in Saginaw. We were talking earlier about things that come and go,
Yeah,
things that have been here. Saginaw African American Cultural Arts Festival is one of the oldest black
it
arts
is.
festivals in the
In
country.
the country.
In the country, in
Yes,
Saginaw.
absolutely.
In Saginaw,
Amazing.
there have been beacon entities and
Yes,
things that have happened. Saginaw's Gospel Fest is one of the
yes,
oldest community gospel fests,
yes.
especially in Michigan. There may not be another one in Michigan
No,
like this, but in throughout the country. And this is your 25th year
yeah.
of leading. 25 years.
25 years. It's been, like I said, it's been amazing. I've had, different artists that come in, and I love all of the artists that come in because they're good. And I love their ministry of music. And I'm just trying to give Saginaw the best that I can. Um, there's a lot that goes in the gospel
There's a
fest.
challenge to doing
There
this.
is oh my God, there's a
The
challenge.
one thing I want to do, I want to say this early on, because I've worked with a lot of different events, a lot of different festivals. But to finance something like
Oh,
this,
yes.
the fact that you've been doing this for 25 years.
25
People come on the
years.
island, they don't have to pay.
No, they don't.
They don't have to pay. They receive presentations from top artists in the
Yes.
gospel music industry. But
Yes.
somehow or another, this has to be paid for.
Absolutely. So I'll just say this. When Gospel Fest is going forward, the day it ends, the next couple days, well, the next day, I'm back at work. So I'm cleaning that island till like 8 o'clock at night, and then I'm back up at 5 so I can get back to work on Sunday morning. But then I start to think about Gospel Fest again. So it's not like I can stop thinking about it because I've got to raise funds for Gospel Fest. Even though no one is paying to get on that island, the artists are not going to come out for free.
Right.
This is their livelihood, a lot of them. And so I've got to raise the funds to get them on the island. And that is my challenge
Now,
every single
I'm,
year.
I'm about to do something that I haven't done before, excuse me. But I'm about to say something, and I hope I don't get in trouble. But there are people who have come to Gospel Fest for every one of the 25 years
Absolutely.
and have never
Absolutely.
sewn into it. Wouldn't this
Absolutely.
be a great year?
This would be the perfect year. And you're absolutely right. It's not like that I don't reach out to these people, because we do. My team and myself, we reach out to these
There are
people.
100 churches
There's
in
100 churches, and
the
when you
African
got
American community.
100 churches and only 7 sow into you, something's wrong with that picture, right? Something's wrong.
Because they're members.
Absolutely. Their members come out, and then, you know what, Bishop, sometimes they're right there as well.
Mhm.
And I feel like, okay, you didn't give a dime, but you're in my face right there in front of the stage. In front of the stage. That's kind of like a slap in the face.
But you have to keep going.
But I have to keep going, and I do it with a smile, and I keep on going. But I'm talking to the Lord all the time, all the time. It's hard. It's hard to raise funds for Gospel Fest when a lot of the businesses feel like it's just religion and they don't want to give to it. But because of the relationship I have with some of the business people, and they believe in me, they give. But what about my faith-based community?
Right. You said faith right
Where's my faith-based community?
Mm-hmm.
If you gave $50, $100, you gave something. If you asked your congregation to make sure to meet you there, you've done something.
How would somebody who's listening to this today, because this is going to air, it's going to be actually 2 or 3 weeks before Gospel Fest.
Yeah.
Because the date for Gospel Fest is what?
August 1st.
August 1st. So
Yes.
we're getting close to it.
We're getting so
But there's
close.
still an opportunity.
Absolutely,
for
there's
people
an
to sew
opportunity.
into it. So if they want to be a part of making sure that Gospel Fest goes on, how do they do that?
Or they can do it in a couple of ways. You can actually call me up. I'll come pick up the funds. All right. I have no problem getting in my car. You can mail that check to Gospel Fest, P.O. Box 3655, Saginaw 48605. Or you can hit my Cash App, $ Gospel Lady VH, and I will get it. And even if it's a little bit